Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. This is a big one, so why not do it as I'm recovering from the flu? Last time I did a batch of reviews, I was recovering from COVID, and I've managed to pick up the double whammy. So if my voice is a little off, and I don't know, we're going to see how this goes. What better way to get over an illness than by transforming a transformer that I've never touched before in my life, because we all know how good I am at that. But I couldn't wait to get to this one. This is so exciting to me. As I've said before, the Transformers G.I. Joe crossovers are a childhood dream come true. I just couldn't be more excited about this line. I don't know how much further it's going to go. I've got an idea. We've got at least one more release. I think the Triple T with Sergeant Slaughter and Leatherneck is as with Cup as the Triple T is all but confirmed. So I'm excited about that one. But today we've got Soundwave as the Thunder Machine with Zarana, Zartan, and Ravage. I'm not feeling this art. It's a little too digital looking, if that makes sense. It doesn't quite capture the original G.I. Joe art. And I can't remember if the previous releases were the same way. I feel like they looked a little more traditional. This one, it just doesn't quite get the job done. But also, you know, whatever. I don't care. I'm concerned about what's inside the box, which is this magical toy. On the back, we've got some features listed. Interesting to me that the canopy opens entirely. This just looks incredible. From the vibrant colors to the redesigns of the figures, I'm very excited about this. So let's get to it. O-ring G.I. Joes are essentially dead from Hasbro. We don't know yet what Super 7's plans are. All we're getting from Hasbro are as part of this, which my understanding is that this is a Transformers line. And that is kind of how it's even happening. I love the little die cut overlap there. That's a nice touch. I also love the fancy shoebox style packaging. Oh, look at this, 2024. Ooh, so I got, oh, by the way, mine came from Big Bad Toy Store, who often get things a little bit earlier than everybody else. So that's how I've got this already. I know other people have it as well. Ooh, what do we got on the back here? Top secret. Cobra Intelligence reports a Joe transport en route with a formidable escort. Do not underestimate their forces. Terminate the threat like the marauders they are. So that'd be Slaughter's Marauders. Now, I believe the images I saw, though, the Leatherneck was just a regular Leatherneck. I don't think he was a Marauder's Leatherneck, and I don't think it was Marauder's Sarge, but whatever. I'm not too worried about that. All right, here we go. Oh, man. Look at the size of that robot. Oh, beautiful. And look at those carded O-ring figures. Hasbro, this is what we want. Just give it to us. Or let Super 7 give it to us. All right, let's get everything out of here. Got plenty of little plastic cables to cut through. Hopefully, they're all going to, man, look at this Ravage, look at this cassette. Well, he doesn't. This is not quite what I imagine when I think of a Transformers cassette. But it's okay. We'll play with that a little bit more and see how it turns out. That can't be it. I do really appreciate the presentation of this packaging, which I was thinking about that actually before I did this video, and some of the packaging that Hasbro has done. And I think part of the reason they do, oh, look at that. Got them all. Oh, not quite. Got a rubber band on here holding that in place. you know, part of the reason Hasbro probably puts as much as they do into packaging, and other toy companies as well, is because of unboxing videos. Because of the appeal of having a nice, exciting, fancy unboxing. So is that going to fall off really easily? Is that what we're looking at here? Oh no, that's pretty secure. It might not have been on super well in the first place. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Look at this giant robot. Okay. But yeah, I think just like accessories and alternate hands and heads and everything are there to make toy photography into the marketing tool that it is, I think that's the case with the packaging as well, and with a lot of these things, is to make these unboxing videos more appealing. You got the full instructions. Oh my gosh. Oh, this just gives me a headache. Ooh. And then we've got our O-ring G.I. Joes. Okay, hang on, let me get this out of the way. So, just huge missed opportunity. Just put the white border on. Like, that's such a weird thing to overlook. It is nice that they've got the unpunched cards. The card back is not the best, but since it's not going to retail, that's not... Well, and there you go. I gotta be honest, the card backs are a little uninspired. Now, I will say this, the actual art that they used looks great. So, this portion, and I know this is accurate, the digitized explosion, but I probably would have made these match just to do it. And I would have gone with the traditional burst behind both of them. That's just me. But again, these are coming out, so I'm not too worried about it. And honestly, if this packaging was executed, in my opinion, to perfection, I would possibly have a little bit of a hard time taking these out. So, you know, I guess I'm glad it's not up to the standard that I would like it to be. All right, so let's go ahead and open up Zorana. Somebody commented on an older video, why didn't I take a razor and try to... Come on, I'm not keeping this stuff. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you want to, that's totally fine. Everybody needs to collect in their own way, but don't, I have zero reason to try to save packaging. I don't have the space for it. I don't have the desire to do it. If I want to see this art, I can go online and look at this art. Or I can look at the collected art of G.I. Joe by Robert Carson Metaxas, a book that every Joe fan should own, and that I think it's much more important to own a book like that than it is to own some trash with plastic stuck to it. Okay. Well, you know what I failed to do? I didn't grab my original Zorana so we could do a comparison, so hang on. You say Zorana, I say Zorana. Let's call the whole thing off. Okay, so... she's got the tattoo that was on the original card art, but isn't present here because she has Zartan's upper arms. Her face, look at the... Okay, Obviously, next to each other, striking differences, including the rouge on the face of the new one. I do like, though, it always bothered me that her mohawk was like a separate piece on the original figure. I don't necessarily like the new hairstyle more. But interesting that the new one is a little shorter and a little more petite. Because, you know, those original Joes are all just the same size. If we compare Zartan and Zarana, they're essentially the same build with slight differences. So there you go. There's a little side-by-side. I think this is a good update. When we're talking about updates, this is the kind of thing I like. Not really bothered by those hinges being black. I mean, that's fine. Has a pretty good seated angle. Look at the detail there, the painted wallet chain. Everything moves nicely. Feels good. It has a good feel to it. The figure feels sturdy. And it does have a ball-jointed neck. Interesting. I like that snotty look on her face. And as I've said from the start, I do not look at these as companion figures to the original O-rings. I just don't. To me, they cannot go side by side in a collection, and that's fine. This is a new collection, in my opinion. Very limited one, but they just don't mesh with your original Joe O-rings. She can hold her buzzsaw gun nicely. Actually, yeah, let's take a look at the detailing there. Definitely much softer. Well, I don't know. It's a little softer detailing than the original, but it's not terrible. If you weren't looking at them side by side, you wouldn't necessarily think much of it. You can see the rivets on the little blades are not as defined on the new one. And obviously the new one's not as glossy, but pretty good. And they shouldn't look exactly the same, because obviously we don't want people replacing original accessories with these new ones. So that's a great update. Looks good to me. I think they've done a really nice job with this one. Now let's take a look at the Master of Disguise Zartan, who is more sunbowy. Well, not even really sunbowy. It's just an update. Because if he was sunbow, he would have, the bluish armor. So it's just an updated design, which has been done many times over the course of this character's existence, with varying degrees of success. That Zartan blaster is not the easiest thing to come by, as I discovered. Matter of fact, I think mine's even a repro. I'm pretty sure it is. So that looks great. Again, doesn't have the gloss. And I will never resell my Joes, so don't think I'm going to like lose track of what's a repro and sell it to somebody, because these are never going anywhere. His black knees are a little bit more of a problem than Zorana's black knees. I don't love that. Matter of fact, that looks really bad. It just does. Sorry. That's a fail. But the figure feels good. The seams on his thighs are pretty big. That's not great. I wonder if... Do I have my screwdriver out here? I do not. I am going to see if we can tighten those up a little bit. Yeah, there's a little room to tighten them. I don't know if we'll give them both a little turn and see if it does any good. And that would be a no. So those just don't fit together super well. That's pretty disappointing. So between the knees and those seams right there, not great. Otherwise, I really like this Zartan. Like I said, feels good. I like the way they've done. The armor has almost like a pearlescent look to it. It's very cool. I don't love the black discs in there. The face looks great. The green eyes are a nice touch. The actual raised sculpt of the face paint, like the portrait, is excellent. And also the shape of the hood, which would have been easy to mess up, I think looks really good. So let's compare to our original. So should his thigh pads have been this silver? Yeah, I think they should have. Not a deal breaker like the terrible knee joints, but well, even the knee joints aren't a deal breaker. It's just disappointing. But yeah, these should have been silver like this. I mean, they wouldn't have matched because this is the color of this plastic, and they couldn't have done that down here. But they could have tried. They could have gotten it a little closer than that. Well, I think that's the color of the... Let's see here. Yeah, because this is... The chest armor is actually... If you can see, it's a separate piece. From the torso, which is an interesting decision. Does that mean they have plans for a bare-chested torso at some point? And if so, who would it even be? Very interesting. All right, well now... No, he's obviously not going to color change because this... Yeah, I'm not even going to test it because he clearly does not. You have different grades of plastic here and here. So that's just not even a possibility. Which that doesn't bother me. Okay. I've got his battle stand. His mask. Which looks equally as suspicious as Zartan's actual face, so I don't know how much good this mask is really going to do him, but I guess at least it does look different. They should have just made it like a bearded Joe face, but I mean, that looks just as evil as Zartan does. Fits in nicely, pops right back out. Good job on that. The backpack, traditional Zartan backpack, opens up. A little loose flash in there. Dump that out. And that just kind of sits there. It does not squeeze into place like it did in the original. And then his blaster goes right in that hand and looks good. All right, so yeah, I mean, concept-wise, really good update of Zartan. Execution-wise, there's some problems that I don't care for. And now it's time. Now let me put my screwdriver back where it belongs. Now it's time for the big boy, Soundwave, and the whoop. Oh my gosh. And the transformation. Woof. Here we go. Oh, hey, you know what's a good idea? Let's take a look at the robot mode before I transform it, so we can get that out of the way. So let's see. There are probably some pieces to clip onto the robot mode here. Yes. So he has got... Is he supposed to have a sword? Uh-oh. Did I overlook something? Because I do not see a sword anywhere in here. Uh-oh. The sword was taped to the underside of the cardboard tray in the package. Or at least I'm assuming this is the sword, hopefully. Oh, this is a few things. Oh my gosh, it's a whole... So there's a whole little baggie of accessories taped to the underside of the cardboard tray. The barrels for the Gatling blaster. And some other stuff. Okay. So, Soundwave's really more of a knife, I would say. Is this the first Transformer to have come with a knife? I'm sure it isn't, but it just seems kind of funny to me. So that should plug in right there. Okay. And then the front portion. Oh, that's pretty cool. That actually looks like that looks cool, and it adds to the look of the figure. It's not just snapped on stuff. Like, that actually does look pretty cool that way. Like, it adds to the profile of those legs a little bit. So that's I'm good with that. Well, that's already on there. All these pieces are already there. So the doors do open, just like the original, but now this completely pulls up too. Pretty cool. I'm just trying to figure out where all of his weaponry goes. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, wait, those need to go up there. And then that's pretty cool. So the barrels actually rotate, not in the most natural way ever, but it is a pretty neat little feature. So there you go. And that... Now, wait a minute. Oh, it just... Okay. Goes there. And then his big giant cannon goes over there. Wow, he is one heavily armed Soundwave. And how are the figures supposed to fit in here? Like, where... Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, okay, that's a neat little design. So, you have to pull, that's why this pulls off, and then there's this folds down, and it's got pegs on it for you to stand Zartan and Zorana on, but I don't see how anybody's going to fit behind that. Oh, it's showing you have to bend their knees. Okay, this is wild. And the question is, am I going to display them like this? This is going to be difficult. To line their heels up with the pegs. I'm not going to sit here and do it in the video because it's just going to be a pain. But anyway, their feet go on their two pegs on each side. And their heels peg in and they basically sit like that. Pretty neat. I like it. I mean, the fact that they can interact with Soundwave in robot mode also, I think, is a nice touch. Just a little extra thought that was put into this thing that you didn't necessarily have to do, and I like that they did, and they've done it with all of these so far. I will call that a step above and beyond, to have actually given the robots places for the figures to interact with. And I think that we'll go ahead and take those off, because one last thing we'll have here is, so that's not spring loaded, that just sort of flops open, which is fine, that doesn't bother me. And then Ravage, who is not quite rectangular shaped, but will hopefully still fit in here. Maybe it goes in the other way. So this is sticking out. There we go. All right. Ravage is in there, and that is just black. It is not translucent at all, which I don't love that, but whatever. It still looks cool. And I love the big giant Decepticon logo in the middle. All right. All of that having happened, now let's take a look at the robot itself. Look, I'm not a Transformers collector. I know people have problems with like hollow bits like this, but to me, the intent of a G.I. Joe Transformers line was always that they were toys. So this, I mean, look at the articulation on this. This is very clearly Soundwave. It just is. And even the red, because the original Soundwave had some red highlights like these, right? This kind of stuff I know bothers Transformers collectors, but I want a functional G.I. Joe vehicle that is a Transformer, and that's how we get it. So that doesn't bother me, and it doesn't take away, you know how to pose this stuff to cover up things like that. It's not that difficult. Look at that. You got a thigh swivel, the knees bend 90 degrees, elbows bend 90 degrees, bicep swivel, little ball joint on the head there. I mean, this is great. This is a great Soundwave. Now, it's not a maybe it's not a great Soundwave to go with your Transformers collection, but it's a great Soundwave that transforms into a G.I. Joe vehicle. It just is. This is going to look awesome on the shelf next to your O-Ring Joes. It just, again, this is a dream come true for me, and many aspects of it go above and beyond what I expected out of this line. Proportionally, he looks great. Shape-wise, he looks great. Like, he's not he's that blocky look that Soundwave has. I'm delighted. This looks great. All right, so now the part I've been sort of dreading. Let's get this transformation underway. And don't worry, I'm going to speed it up. I'll stop if I run into any difficulties that I feel need to be explained. But we're going to go into fast forward now. And here we have a brightly colored, sturdy, once everything is clipped together. There are a couple spots in that transformation where I paused to try and point things out, like these two pushing together, this clipping into these two. These two panels took some serious pressure to get into place, but they do push into place. This took a little doing. But overall, not a terrible transformation. Not as easy as the Awe-Striker, but easier than the Hiss, I would say. And the finished product, brightly colored. I am okay with the thicker front portion here, Cattle Chaser, or whatever that arm. It's not really a Cattle Chaser, but just that whatever that this armored piece in the front, because I feel like in the real world, you would want this to be thick and sturdy like this. You wouldn't have, which, by the way, let's go ahead and bring out the OG Thunder Machine for a little side-by-side here. And as you can see, dimensionally, this is pretty amazing. I'm blown away by how closely they have recreated the original. And as you can see, my front piece here has got some stress marks. It's banged up because it's just very difficult to maintain one of these. But also, considering the Mad Maxi nature of this vehicle, I don't really... Look, if I were to find a pristine one of these, I would replace it, sure. But also, at the same time, this is what this would look like. You know what I mean? Not only if this was the one I had when I was a kid, but if the Dreadnoks were actually driving around this piecemeal car, this is what this would look like over time. It would be bent up and mangled and in rough shape, so that doesn't really bother me. But I'm okay with this reinforced design for this front piece. The silver highlights, I think, are a welcome added touch. I really like the engine and the blasters in the front being the silver. It does have plastic tires, which is a little disappointing. I don't love the clips being visible through there, which they were, but smaller on the original. Whatever, I'm not that worried about that. You can see we've got the same labels present on the sides. The dome light up here is actually much nicer on this one. As opposed to being that little dot of yellow, we've got a full yellow color on there. We're missing the Canon sticker in the front. Whatever. We've got the Danger, which is... So this one is Ram Turbo Danger. This one is just Danger. But I do think this one looks nicer. We've got a thicker antenna as well. I don't love the thicker antenna, but, I mean, look at what happens to the old one. It's whatever. It's fine. Really, really an amazing feat of toy engineering. Oh, let's take a look at the front here, because... Oh, we do, look! So we're missing... Oh, wow! That's funny, we're missing that Cobra logo. Or I guess that's the Dreadnok. Hang on. There we go. Anyway, we're missing that. But we have like an inverted Pontiac logo. Isn't that what that is? And then actual sculpted and painted headlights, which look really nice. And then on the back, we've got taillights just tampoed on that do a fine job, in my opinion. So, there you go, a little side-by-side. Obviously, this is never going to replace the original Thunder Machine, but if like me... Oh, you know what? I don't know that I've got that front end plugged all the way in. I don't. Okay, hang on. Let me get my delicate older model put off to the side. So these tabs, I don't know how easy this is going to be to do. And you see those two tabs, these actually push into the front of the vehicle. I don't have this completely. I wondered why it felt not as secure as the other. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to go back in and mess with that. I'm not. It will, rest assured, those will push in there. I'm just not going to waste a whole lot of time trying to do it right now because I'm, oh wait, there we go. So those pop in. Let me fold those back down. There we go. Okay. All right. Much better. Much better. Okay, cool, cool. Now let's get the figures in there just to try that out. And the cool thing is, you can just fold that up now which, it's funny, it kind of feels like a cheat to me to do that. Oh. Ooh. Oh, you got to bend their knees to get them in there, but he does fit. This is going to be tricky with the steering wheel. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I'm not going to bother putting her hands on the steering wheel. That plugs right down, and look at that. Thunder Machine. Manned up, ready to go. And we've got one more piece of this that unfortunately involves some transformation. I really hope that a speed up isn't necessary on this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so there is Ravage, which, I mean, it's cool. It's, honestly, I think I would have preferred just a non-transforming Ravage that had a really good Panther mode, because it's not like the cassette looked all that great in the first place. And this is fine, but yeah, I think just a cool, non-transforming Panther Ravage would have been preferable to me. And then you've got the collar, or the leash, that just slides right over there, and that is a soft plastic, so that'll pose all right. And there you go. Oh, thank you all for bearing with me through this. I'm feeling it, you guys. I know that sounds ridiculous after doing a toy review, but this is the most exertion I've had in days. So thanks for hanging in there. I was really excited about this release, and for the most part, it delivered. The Soundwave itself is fantastic. I don't think could possibly be any better. The Joe figures, I mean, it's a great, fun set. A couple things I would have done differently, but overall, again, making a childhood dream come true. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and check back all the time for all kinds of different toy reviews. Whatever I think is cool, I'm going to review it here. Now I'm going to take a break and go grab some grape soda. Okay, I'm back just for a real quick second because I thought it was worth saying. I just did this in like a couple of minutes, maybe not even that. Once you have done the transformation once, it is very easy and intuitive, and I thought it was worth pointing that out. I didn't use the instructions, I just changed it back to robot mode, so that was, I just thought, an important thing to point out. So there he is, Soundwave, back in robot mode, ready for display on the shelf, and for my thumbnail picture, which I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.